I think we're live. We are live!
Are we though?
Yeah, we're not supposed to be though. I was supposed to play the video.
All
So
right.
give us just a minute. We'll be back. And we're back. And we're gone. All right, we're off to an absolutely terrible start, just to let you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frank's trying to share on his page. It's not going well. Whatever. What else is new? Nothing. So to start off the show, and Frank didn't know I was going to do this to him, we have all that's basically left is just the shards of pain.
What is that?
We have ghost pepper, Buc-ee's,
Ooh,
beef
Buc-ee's.
jerky. And we are going to start this show off right. You better not grab some nothing. I got a good chunk. Back bar bad. It's weird because ghost pepper doesn't hit you right off the bat. It wakes up and it punches you in the back of the face. That's hot already. Something stabbed me.
Ah.
Mm. Mm.
Mm. I'm thirsty.
We don't even have drinks anymore. At least I don't. I just have whiskey. Oh, that's good.
It's making my mouth water.
Mm. What's up, Matt DeBacco? Well, Frank was supposed to bring the show notes.
It's so bad.
He probably didn't. He's not going to be able to talk for a little while, just to let you know. So I'm going to start this off with the most pressing issue. If you voted for Biden and you still stand by that vote, Lord help you. Because did you know, and I saved this fact for you, that since all of this has happened, Frank, can you even hear me?
I can.
Is your brain broken? So, since all this has happened, there's 15,000 Americans that are stuck over in Afghanistan right now, or were. Guess how many are left? Guess how many they've got out since day one?
100.
That would be worse. But, I mean, reasonably. We're the greatest nation on earth. 15,000 people.
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's basically nothing in the scope of what we can do. How many do you think that have gotten out?
I would bet that we brought more Afghanis back than we did Americans.
That's probably true.
Okay, 15,000. Honestly, I didn't look anything up. I have no clue. I'm going to say between 2,000 and 3,000, like 2,500.
1,500.
1,500. Jesus. Manesus.
Yeah. Here's the good news, though. Sleepy Joe has finally decided that he's actually going to not take his vacation in the midst of all this.
He's not going to take his vacation.
Yeah, so he's not going to fly out to his home in Delaware. He's actually going to stay and partially probably try to do his job. So here's the funny thing, though. So I got this quote. It's actually the headline from the Daily Mail, which is basically typically very liberal. They're eating their own. That's the best part about all this. So
Yeah.
The headline, big headline on the Daily Mail is no vacation for Sleepy Joe. Biden cancels weekend jaunt at home in Delaware as liberal media turn on the befuddled president over his dire Afghan performance. they're going to eat him alive.
You want to know my quick theory on his disappearance during the week?
Well, you told me, but you can tell
Yeah.
the peoples.
I'm pretty sure he caught COVID, and that's why he's canceling his plan to Delaware.
So they said turn my mic up, by the way.
I did a little bit, but they got to let us know if it's better.
All right.
Plus, he wasn't talking into it. He's an idiot.
Well, you know what? It's probably because we got it set up to where the thing... No, it's facing towards me.
No, I know. You know what you can do, though, is... Never mind.
All right. So why is Biden the way he is?
Now I'm pretty sure he's got the COVID. I'm pretty sure Biden caught the COVID hanging out with Barack Obama.
I'm doing it again.
You're an idiot. And that's why he didn't leave. And I think that's why he canceled his vacation, make it look like he's a hero. That's why you only hear from him a few minutes at a time. I don't know. He's probably been dead the whole time, though, to be honest.
No, he's not dead because they just showed him up in the war room or whatever. And I swear to God, this is what he looked like.
Yeah, I'm saying, you don't think he's like a robot or a stand-in? I think there's a stand-in acting like him.
Tony said, oh, the pepper hit the back of the throat. He said, turn me up more.
More?
Oh, yeah. Woo-sa. For those of you just joining, during this episode, we're eating ghost pepper beef jerky. I thought it was a gimmick. It's not a gimmick. That's really... Oh.
I can't eat anymore. It's not that it's I can tolerate it, but I'm drooling all over myself uncontrollably.
Let's see what we see here. It almost sounds like your mic is off and your voice is getting picked up by Frank's. Way to go, Frank.
Nope, your mic is on.
Way to go, Frank.
Your mic is on. You're just not talking into it.
I'm talking right into it. I'm talking right into it. Did it get distorted when I did that?
Wait, I've been turning up my mic.
I hate you. Now do I sound better? Do I sound louder?
This should be better. I was wondering why I was getting louder.
Oh, geez. Hey, folks, we've only been doing this for 2 solid years, and we haven't figured it out yet. So if you have any questions, I can't even talk. That's so hot. And my nose is running.
I know it's a terrible thing to do before show. We're all phlegmy now.
Matt DeBacco says the volume's fine. So we're going to go with Matt. Man, my eyes are burning. What was your topics?
Oh, I got a bunch.
Let's hear one.
Well, first thing is I wanted to congratulate our friend Mo Muscle on his decision win yesterday. Was it yesterday?
I don't watch MMA, so
I believe it was the Friday night fight. I just get confused at what day it is today. So congratulations to Mo on his decision victory yesterday in PFL 2021, number 8. I did write down some other things that we talked about or that you talked about. Did you see that the knockdown, by the way? Mo's knockdown?
No.
So that dude just decided he wanted to tuck his head a little bit and charge at Mo just as Mo threw his left arm out there. And it connected pretty good. It was nice. I have pepper stuck in my throat. The other thing was we had a pool party today for one of those like Jack and Jill baby shower things.
To where you find out what the sex is?
No, they already knew, but it was just like a man shower combined with, what do you call it? Baby shower? Okay.
Are you broken?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Biden.
Yeah.
I was drinking in the pool.
So Frank's broken. He's pulling the Biden. Actually, you sound much more coherent than Biden, by the way.
I was drinking in the pool.
Biden would be like, I was drinking in the pool and my hair was standing up and the kids came over and they rubbed my leg hair and I liked it.
That's true.
Yes.
Oh, no. Wait, I got it. So because we're at the baby shower and we've got a few of them now, so it's fun seeing somebody who's about to have their first one because the whole thing is...
Because they're hopeful.
They're hopeful and you have all these intentions of all the things you want to do and they get outweighed by how much you want to sleep. It's like, I want to do all these things to further the development of my child, but I'm tired.
All the time.
I just want to sleep.
I told you I moved out.
I know.
I moved into the other room.
So we were talking about that. We were talking about whether or not, like, you know, because especially for the first like week or so, the father is basically useless. especially if you're
Yeah,
breastfeeding.
let's talk about the first 8 years. I'm figuring I'll become less useless as time goes on, but at the moment, I'm still useless.
I just know that occasionally our wives watch the show, so I'm trying to make it sound like we didn't plan to not do anything. But there's nothing you can do the first week, couple weeks. You need anything, you want anything, what can I do for you? And do you mind if I go back to sleep? Because that's all you want is sleep. So Janet slept on the couch with the baby, or I slept on the couch to just not be near her and the baby. You moved out.
Yeah, I moved into another room.
I know, it's awesome.
I'm not proud of it now, but at the time, I felt like it might have been the right choice. I do have learned now 8 years later that it probably wasn't the right choice because it gets brought up quite a lot.
All the time.
I actually said to Morgan, if there was here's a good topic, and that's not even on our list. If you had a time machine, what are 3 things that you would change that if you could go back, you could change it?
Yeah.
I will tell you my first one is I probably wouldn't have moved out of that room. My second one is I would have never lied to Morgan about still smoking cigarettes when I told her I quit 10 years ago.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. So I got caught. It was like, not to say that I kept smoking. I did quit, but she caught me. And 9.5 years ago, I quit. But man, I still hear about that. That's like the one. And then my third.
It's funny because it's not even really that big of a thing.
It was
now, but it
wasn't
was
smoking.
But it was back then, and she can throw it at you. The cool thing is that she's still able to throw it at you, and you guys don't fight about it. But what's the other thing?
I'm trying to think. There's a lot. There's a lot of those things where it's like, I think if you clumped them all together, my time machine, one thing that would be clumped together is if I could have a mouth break. You ever say something, you're like, let me catch it.
You'd be able to catch it?
Yeah, before it gets, like if it could just be slow enough to where you could catch it and bring it back. Like, because it sounds great in your mind, but then you say it and you're like, shit.
If you could have the guy that should have been fielding Donald Trump's tweets just mouth guard you, then you'd be fine.
Yeah.
If he was actually allowed to do his job.
Yes.
That's the guy that you would want. I've got a couple things that I would turn back and not do.
Or you just can't say them.
I can't say them. And then there's a couple things I do differently. When it comes to the kids, I tried so hard. To protect the kids, to keep them safe. And I know where each of my children got brain damage. I specifically remember the moments, right? So one time was when I went to go get Ava out of her crib, and I got excited and I wanted to just throw her up real quick, but the fan was on. So you went get her back down. So that's where my daughter went retarded. And then my son, we were laying in bed and it was like the middle of the night and I was trying to put him to sleep. Janet was at work. He flipped out and started kicking all over the place. So I kind of just like grabbed him and held him down so he wouldn't flip out. And I just looked at him and I was like, I think I broke his brain when I did that. And then unfortunately, I tried so hard to not let the third one, who's now 6 months old, I tried to protect her brain as much as possible, but I was holding her, like.
I think you're fine. They're resilient.
Well, I held her like belly first as I was trying to like slowly rock her and put her down into her crib. And she just got this big jolt where she wanted to get excited and mad. So she fell out of my hands.
Put the camera on me because you will know this one. To those of the people that haven't had a child, this is going to be the biggest word of advice for you ever. And you will agree. Here's what kids do. When you are holding them, right, and you've got them like this. Can they see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
So you got them like this is their head.
The big fucking baby.
You look away on any baby, they do this. They're just sitting there and they're all happy, and then they go. And they try to flip over backwards.
Yes.
And it is like, you got to like do this whole, oh shit thing where you catch them, and it's all the time.
And you're afraid their back's going to break in half. You're afraid that, you're like, oh God, my baby needs a chiropractor now because they're broken.
You just hear my chest pop when that happened?
I did.
Yeah.
But it's yeah. That I think about that all the time. Janet just found out that I hurt the children. So there you go. There's that.
No,
So
I'm going to show it too.
Anyway, so that's definitely. I mean, I'd like to take those away. Oh, this does lead me to something that I thought was really funny. It was a conversation we had today where hypothetically, if a genie came up to you and said, you know, some idiot wished for two things and disappeared, so there's one wish left. What is it?
Did he ask you or you and your wife?
No, he asked you. Like it's just you. Like
I would say you should go ask my wife, because if I make this wish, she's gonna be real mad at me. I'm not gonna be happy with whatever it is.
This is crazy because this is the first thing that came to my mind. The very first thing that came to my mind is I would like dairy to not make me shit anymore.
That's a horrible one.
No, you don't understand the pain that I feel.
Well, you could just not eat dairy.
No, I can't. I can't do it.
Dude, there's so many like lactose-free things because it's lactose. It's not. It can't be just dairy.
They taste like dog shit.
I like lactose-free milk.
That's good.
Well, the Fairlife one?
The Fairlife's good, but all the other like fake ice cream, no. I'm not buying it.
Luckily, I have none of those
god
problems.
awful. I want a milkshake. I want to have a milkshake and not make it look like 2 girls, 1 cup.
Which we found out was ice cream.
It's fake.
It ruined everything.
That was ice cream. Did you guys know? Did you know that 2 girls, 1 cup was fake? It was ice cream. It's ridiculous.
It's kind of sad.
It is sad because for the longest time I thought it was doo-doo.
You know, I never watched it.
Yeah, right.
No, I promise I never watched it.
That was the video you used to get everybody with. Like, hey, take a look at my child.
You know I won't look. You know me. Every time you try to show me something, I don't look. I'm like, I'm not looking because I know better.
Oh, last time we did a show, we never told anybody what happened afterwards. Last time we did a show, Kevin went to the bathroom, and it was just Jeff and I. So we took a marker and we drew faces on our testicles. And when Kevin walked in, our testicles were out.
Wait, pause for a second. Did you draw on Jeff's?
No, we drew on our own. But unfortunately, I think he did use one of my markers. And I remember.
And knowing you have a tendency to lick things. You're probably like, this marker's not writing.
I didn't lick my marker.
Lick it so it'll start writing again.
I didn't lick the marker. I promise. I didn't lick the marker. That's ridiculous.
That's pretty gross.
Yeah. But Kevin got pissed when he saw our balls.
Well, it was unavoidable. I walk in the door and there you two are.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I know you're gay?
Balls out. Bubble gum.
Jesus. Oh, so my slow motion replay, like your child's head hitting the fan?
Yeah.
Mine was we were walking upstairs and Camden was probably, I don't know, 2, 3. And Landon's next to me, and those two are bickering with each other and like messing with each other. And I'm sitting there going, stop it, stop it. I was taking him up to bed. And Camden, I watch her face. She falls off balance. Second one to the top. And I'm all the way up, and Landon's right next to her. And I'm like, grab her. Like I scream because I can't reach her. And I watched her in slow motion go like, badoop, badoop. And she got going so fast, she flipped up in the air, did like a double flip. Yeah. And landed on her side, and me and Landon are up there like, is she dead? And then she looks up and she goes, that was fun. But it was like in slow motion. But I wouldn't take that one back because obviously nobody got hurt. That's a great story.
That is awesome. Tony says he has a topic. You should send it to Kevin.
Or just put it on the screen.
But dude, how funny is that? She was fine though? No issues?
No, she was fine.
You know, I've fallen more down the stairs as an adult than I ever did as a child.
That probably has to do something with alcohol intake.
I don't think so. No, once I was at my dad's house and I was wearing socks on a hardwood floor and they just had it polished and I slipped holding a burrito.
What? Did you just hear what you just said?
Yeah, I was holding a burrito and I slipped. I slipped and I ran into the wall and I ate the burrito laying there on the floor.
But you weren't drunk?
Nope. And this,
right. I'm not even going to look at what he wrote. I'm just putting it up. He says, would you rather have no control over the volume of your voice ever or have to roll dice like Dungeons or Dragons to make every decision in your life?
Oh, that would be tough, man.
I've never played Dungeons and Dragons. So what does rolling do? Like it picks what your reaction is?
To be honest with you, the last time I played Dungeons, I was probably like a kid. So, but I mean, just think about it like a video game. Like you have to do this or that.
I'd like to know control of the volume of my voice.
How weird would that be, though?
You'd be at a funeral and you'd be like trying to whisper.
Yeah.
What if you were at a funeral and you didn't like the person, but you were there because your wife like
Yeah.
made you go, and you're sitting there and you're like, he was kind of a big dickhead.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Which is basically me in real life.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so dramatic. Like, oof, that's a tough one. I mean, I hate the fact of anything having to make a decision for me. I guess I just wouldn't talk very much. Or, you know what? Technology has like you could use one of those, what are like the perfect pitch things? They got to make an equalizer.
Or you just get a Bane mask.
Yeah. No matter what, it's the same volume.
Yeah.
I would do the volume. I would do the volume.
All right. This is my, we're going back to the news. You ready for next topic?
Yep.
I bet you don't even know this one, by the way. Jesse Jackson and his wife have COVID. Shocker. They're vaccinated.
Jesse Jackson.
Yes.
Reverend
Jesse Jackson and his wife both have COVID.
I can't believe God gave him the vid.
My next question is, was he at Obama's shindig when Biden got it?
Do you know that or not?
I don't, but
Okay.
I bet he was.
You keep talking and I'll find
An
out.
influential person like that had to have been at Biden's birthday
Let's
party.
see.
Biden's birthday party. Biden thought it was his birthday
I
party.
get them confused. I call them O'Biden.
Barack Hussein O'Biden and Michael O'Biden. We've already had that discussion, but Michael is definitely built more like a man than Barack.
Yep.
That's always good radio when you suck snot through your nose because you still aren't totally over COVID. I've had a headache ever since it started, like since day one. If you Google that, it's not going to come up.
No, apparently they have an awkward past. I don't think they like each other.
Really?
Yeah. That's all the effort I'm giving.
So Al Sharpton was there then.
Oh, for sure.
Al Sharpton is one of them people. So you know how some people lose weight and you're like, you really shouldn't have done that. You look better fat. Al Sharpton is one of those people. He looks like somebody took a giant inflated balloon and then popped it. And now it's just this mangled mess of person.
Yeah. No, for sure. I could see that.
He looks terrible.
I'm trying to look at some of the videos. They got all sorts of videos and pictures from Obama's party.
Well, moving on to the next one. So as you know that the moratorium on evictions was, I don't think it's even been lifted like everywhere, but in some states, I think it has. Well, some of these landlords are finally getting people out of their places. And there's a story about a guy that just in the course of the moratorium had managed to fill his entire apartment full of bottles. He was a hoarder. So he had empty bottles from ceiling to floor. You can look this up. And because he had filled up like everywhere, he had nowhere to go to the bathroom. So he shit in the freaking tub.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And the tub was full of poo.
And what does this have to do with the moratorium?
People like that are living in people's places, not paying for rent and shitting up people's toilets.
Oh, I didn't realize he was
or not
renter.
toilets, but that'd be normal if they were doing it in the toilet. But these idiots are doing it in the bathtub and waffle stomping it down the drain.
Yeah, so it's like you rent out your house to somebody and they just do duty in the hallway.
Yeah, and just pack bottles to the ceiling.
And they don't have to. So as an owner, you haven't collected rent in over 18 months now.
Yeah, that's why I'm happy about selling mine.
Yeah.
Not to say that my tenant would have done that, but they might have.
Yeah, I mean, I know a lot of people that rent that are still paying their rent. I mean, life goes on. You know that you remember the "You Might Be a Redneck"?
I remember, oh buddy. That's what went through my head when you said life goes on.
Yeah. Well, you remember you might be a redneck if whatever, right? So I was in the shower the other day and I made myself laugh thinking about you might be a Republican. So we should play that game.
I was expecting this to go totally different direction.
What are you thinking? You thought I was gonna go redneck route?
I thought you laughed, farted, pooed on your floor in the shower.
No. And then told my landlord I wasn't gonna pay rent.
Yeah. What'd Janet say about that?
She didn't like it too much. She thought it was ridiculous. So what I thought was you might be a Republican if
you pay your rent.
Well, I like that one. You might be a Republican if you work.
You might be a Republican if you don't dye your hair bright pink.
Ooh. Okay. These are the easy ones. You might be a Republican if you stand for the pledge.
You might be a Republican if you don't spend all your rent money on tattoos, beer, preferably Pall Malls, lotto tickets.
You might be a Republican if you got mad. Oh, this is bad. I got to finish it. If you got mad, you walked in on your son doing gay shit.
You know, what's funny is when we started that's going to go perfect to my next thing. When we started this show, that would have meant nothing. No one would have cared.
No, now you can't say that.
Yeah, like, and I always back off of everything, like, because I somewhat have a reputation to withhold, and when you start saying your crazy shit, I kind of say, like, that's not me.
I know.
But this one I don't care about. I don't even think they care, honestly. I think there's like a 0.002% of the LGBTQWXYZ community that gives a shit. Because do you care? So do you know what gay people call us? Like as a derogatory slang name?
Breeders.
Does that offend you?
No, I have 3 children.
I don't give a shit.
I bred them.
Just like I don't think most of them give a shit.
So it's my understanding that there is a civil war amongst the queer folk.
Oh, so now we're really going to dive in.
So I'm telling you,
I'm just going to tell everybody now. I met my finish line, and now this is Frank's show.
I'm 90% sure that the gays don't like the lesbos because they're just too much. And then the lesbos don't like the trannies because they're just dudes that are still trying to fuck chicks. And lesbos, they want the girls to themselves. They don't share, otherwise they would be bisexual. Or you have the pansexuals. The pansexuals,
what
like everybody,
mean?
That means you switch. I think that means you go from one to the other, like even faster than you change your underwear.
Wouldn't switching be bisexual?
No, because they identify as the other sex, so they never do gay shit.
I'm so confused.
Yeah, they're like, I want to bang that dude, so I'm a chick.
The weirdest one is when a transsexual male and a transsexual female change their sexes and then they get together. What was the point in that?
Yeah. It's so weird. Well, you saw the one prison that allowed men who identified as women.
New York.
Yeah. No, California. It was they identified a woman a man. God damn it. I'm so confused.
You can't talk about it without messing it up.
A man identified as a woman.
It's like trigonometry for sex.
Yeah, for sure. No, it's this new freaking Common Core math. This is Common Core math for sexuality.
Personally, I don't care. I think anybody that gets offended by anything is stupid. Like,
I don't
you can call
care
me whatever you want.
I don't care who you bang, but like if you were born a dude and you bang dudes, but you want to be like, I'm a girl so I can bang dudes, I think you're just a gay dude.
I was lost so long ago.
But it's just so confusing to me. So anyway, so this prison lets a man come in as a woman, and what does that man do? Man rapes a woman inmate and gets her pregnant.
Probably wasn't rape.
The dude had a dick. You put a dude and a dick in a box with other women.
No, I'm saying probably the man.
Oh, yeah. No, the woman probably wanted to have sex with the dude. Otherwise, she'd have licked his butthole.
It's always... So here's the way the show works if you're watching for the first time. There's this line, and I normally will stop right at it or just barely beyond it, and then Frank shits on the line and runs 7 miles past it.
Just makes no sense, Kevin. It makes no sense.
Oh, Lord. Well, that goes right into my next topic, by the way. So
what's your topic?
The comic books DC came out and said that Robin's gay.
I could have told you Robin was gay.
No, it came out in the comic.
So in the actual comic, he came out as gay?
Yeah, but here's my thought. What was Robin? So judging by the movie, so Robin was an acrobat, right? And his parents died in an accident.
Yes.
What was his special thing?
He sucked off Batman in the car.
That's what I was going to get at.
Really?
No, but I'm saying he had to have been in love with Batman because, I mean...
Why wouldn't you be? You're a gay little acrobat, and he's like the world's manliest man in Gotham.
But maybe Batman's gay. Because why would Batman be interested in anybody that was just no superpowers, no money, no nothing? Batman doesn't have any superpowers.
I mean,
He's just
Batman-
super rich.
And certain Batman like the women. Like I think Ben Affleck was a gay Batman, and I think George Clooney liked the women. Michael Keaton liked the women, but Ben Affleck was a gay Batman.
Now I think the new one is.
Who's the new one? Pattinson?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just gay human.
So this is kind of weird that I know this about Robert Pattinson. So when he first took the job to be in that Twilight movie, when he would come over and do reads, he would read as if he was American, and he would put on his thing that he was American, but obviously he's not. He's English. So when they would say, "Can you do an English accent?" he was talking normal.
But son of a bitch.
Because he was worried about getting typecasted as an English type actor.
Mm-hmm.
So when he came over here, he hit it. And then they were like, "Can you do an English accent?" He just started talking normal. And they're like, "Oh, your accent is perfect." And that's how he got
What
the
if they
roles.
would have told him that his accent sucked and he needed to work on it?
Then
Could
they
you
would have been
imagine?
wrong.
Could you imagine
Yeah.
how much that would have sucked?
That's funny though.
That is.
But yeah, he that's how he got it supposedly. But yeah, so now the world is upside down. You know, nothing is as it was when we were kids.
Nothing just makes
Now even
nothing
comics
makes
books are sexualized. I
It's
think
so
that's what I'm
ridiculous.
aggravated at. Like what other than the ambiguously gay duo, why do we care about the sex or the sex they want to have of a comic book character?
That's again, the focus on gender needs to go away, and you just bang who you want to bang. You want to be gay, you want to be
Unless
like everybody.
You're a pedophile and then
Yeah, but that's not
go F yourself.
Yeah, that's not bang whoever you want to bang. Bang whoever you want to bang of legal age. But the point is, we're putting all this emphasis on sexuality, and that's actually been documented, if I'm not mistaken, which I usually always am, that the huge focus on sexuality is like one of the things that leads up to the fall of every empire. And that's what they said.
What, were the Romans going wild?
Yeah, the Romans were going wild towards the end. The Babylonians were going wild towards the end. They just stopped. Everything became like sexual orgies, and it was just all about sex and pleasure. And men were acting like little bitches, and women were still like. That's the thing this is the thing that gets to me. All right, people always like, oh, women have it hard. They give birth and all this. Look, men have it so hard that they try to become women.
I saw a meme that's terrible that I'm going to say it. I don't believe in what I'm about to say. I'm just reporting the news. I saw a thing that says transgender woman wins beauty pageant, which proves men can do everything better.
I saw that.
That's
That was
so
amazing.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny though.
That was a very good one.
I don't stand by that statement.
But what I don't get though is like, so at the end of every empire, you have to think the women weren't like wanting to bang dudes. I think the women did stuff for money, like most whores do. But the idea is that everybody just wanted to bang beautiful women.
So we kind of got into woke culture a little bit.
Yeah.
And my woke culture comment is topic is the new thing is celebrities are starting to kick back on gender norms, meaning like back in the 60s, they threw the bras out, like because women were going to have women's rights, which I'm for that, by the way. But this one is a little much. Maybe somebody will pull up this tape of this show, 20 years from now and ruin my life because maybe it'll be mainstream culture. But I will say at this moment right now, I'm not down with the women not shaving their armpits trend.
Is that a thing?
That's a thing.
Who's doing this?
So the main person that's come out and said she's doing it is, what's her name? Julia Michaels.
Yeah, Julia Michaels. Don't know who you are. Go fuck yourself.
And she's on the cover of You magazine like this, and
Yeah.
she's got armpit hair more than me.
Well, they can put her on the cover of Men's Health too. I'm still not going to touch her. So listen to this though.
That's a little much for me.
Is this not the same as the girls that went around having like free bleed Mondays and shit like that?
That's just.
I mean, they were free bleeding all over the place.
That seems like that's not even like I understand you're trying. I understand what they're trying to do, right? anything a man can do, they should be able to do.
Yep.
But if you're genetically going to put
Yep.
DNA on the ground,
Yeah.
and you could possibly have, I don't know, herpes, HIV,
Yeah.
AIDS, God forbid.
Mhm.
Like if it's a health concern issue,
Yep.
you got to look past all this wokeness.
Yeah, you can't just be bleeding all over the place.
I mean, more power to the women that want to grow their armpit hair.
They say
I'm
dudes
just not going to be attracted to it.
Well, they say dudes don't have to wear tampons, which is true. But I mean, if I had shit leaking
might
out of
need
my
one.
ass, I would wear a diaper.
You probably should wear one.
I've put a thing in my
Or the
underwear.
cup thing. The girls have the cup.
Yeah.
You need to stick that up your ass.
Well, I put the filter up there. Remember, John gave me those filters. I put carbon filters up my ass before.
They didn't work.
No, it's terrible.
Well, now I don't know if you have a subject that lines up with that. I'm going to go totally off topic.
Oh,
now.
no, we do have. There was one that does line up because you mentioned that free bleeders were spreading HIV everywhere.
I didn't say they were. I said
they
it's
were.
a possibility.
They were spreading HIV everywhere. And apparently, because your news comes here first, apparently Australia gave all of their citizens HIV.
Okay, so let me elaborate on what Frank just said, because that is definitely the fake news headline. Now, the reality is I guess, and from what little I read, I cannot believe you brought this up on the show. Now I have to really try to remember what I read.
Yeah, which is fun because it's not going to be accurate.
It's not.
It's not
So
going to be accurate.
basically, in a nutshell, when every country more or less was working on a vaccine, like if you remember, Russia had their vaccine, and I'm sure China had one too. Australia was working on one, and it supposedly did really well. But what they failed to mention, and right before they gave it to the public, is the protein they used. I don't know if you've watched how this worked. It's a protein that they put on the virus that actually basically doesn't kill the virus, but it makes you a little more immune. Well, the protein they used in this one was the HIV protein. And once the government and people found that out, they weren't going to take it. They claimed that it wouldn't do anything to you, but yet when they would stick an HIV test into that vaccine, it would come out positive.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
That is dog shit ridiculous.
I'm not chancing that one.
The cure for COVID is HIV.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, if the FDA comes out and says, this is approved, but just to let you know,
no,
inside this is the HIV protein. No, is the absolutely no.
You know how many gay dudes are going to get excited because they get to go get their HIV the old-fashioned way?
And as usual, there's the line, and there's Frank.
But that's ridiculous, though. Come on, man.
So here's the kicker, though. And this is this is not fact. I'm just going to preface this with, this has no facts. This has no study behind it. Nothing. This is just my stupid thoughts that go through my head. And I was thinking today, okay, so you've seen that when they pull the vaccine apart, it has the information pamphlet that you get with anything.
Yeah,
you take. You know how you open up the thing from Walgreens? It's got the big pamphlet thing. You open it up. It tells you what's in it, side effects, whatever, what to expect. Well, if you open any of these new vaccines, it has one, but it says intentionally blank on it. There's nothing on it.
What the fuck?
Because it's in the trial phase. They don't.
Oh, because it's not FDA approved.
Well, not just that. It's just they don't know all the side effects yet, and they can't fill out that pamphlet because it hadn't been done yet. This is the trial phase.
They also can't get in trouble for the vaccine.
No, they can't.
They are exempt from all legal ramifications.
Right. So the thing I was thinking is if you notice, they're talking about Pfizer, right? Is supposedly going to be the first to get FDA approved, but it hasn't yet. Well, and it's probably just a coincidence. Again, I'm prefacing this, but I was looking it up today. I went down a little wormhole. Pfizer 3 days ago came out with a thing that they have a trial for a new HIV virus vaccine that they're working on, and they're trialing it, and they appear that it might be working. Directly behind this whole HIV protein, SARS-CoV-1
Yeah.
And just ironically, this happens
Yeah.
right now.
They are experimenting on the Australians, and they're going to try to see if they can
Well, the
cure 'em.
Australians never took it, but the point is we don't know who made the Australian one. Like, what if that was them and they learned something from it,
Right.
And then now they come over here, right? And they've got this. Now they found a way to maybe cure HIV. Good, but the thing is it's not been tested. It's not been checked. But let's go deeper down this stupid hole of Kevin's brain and say, well, we don't know what's in it because them damn cards aren't filled out. What's to say that we aren't using the one from Australia?
Yeah, that's true.
So, I mean, it might be the same company.
It might be the same company. And I tell you, there's a lot of bullshit that's in that vaccine. But I don't want to say this isn't an anti-vax thing because, look, if you feel you need the vaccine, that's fine. Go get it. But I don't think you need the vaccine if you are like Kevin and I, who actually contracted COVID. And
no,
now,
because supposedly it kills your antibodies.
well, we now have antibodies, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm not worried. I'm not worried about like future iterations.
It's so weird because it was almost like, and I feel like the Democrats have spun it like this, is I feel like the whole race thing got re-escalated. So when we were in high school, I don't remember anything being racist. Like it wasn't a thing.
It
We
wasn't
didn't
a thing.
talk about it. We were friends with everybody.
Yep.
Our generation, I don't know, the 30-somethings, I don't remember that being a thing. I may be wrong in other parts of the world, but in this town, it wasn't a thing that I could remember. I don't know. Maybe I'm sheltered.
You know what's weird is I have, and this is kind of along the same topic, is, I had a black friend write me on, I can't remember. I'm trying to remember, on Facebook. And I saw his name pop up, and first thing I did was I got excited. I was like, oh, I haven't talked to this guy forever. And I really like him. And I was like, oh, so I wonder what he's got to say. And then right before I click on the message, I'm thinking to myself, aren't all black people supposed to hate me right now? Like, do you get what I'm saying?
But that's the thing is it's okay. So blood cells, I mean, they're businesses.
Right.
So if you can get a fiasco or somebody being racist, they're going to sell it. That's what they're selling.
For sure.
So, but the point is and what you just said, you had to very carefully say, I had a black friend. When we were in high school, it was your
I had a friend. I had a friend. I
No
had
one
to specify
said
that
This is reemerged. Like it wasn't any. I don't remember any of it. I'm maybe just weird.
No, I would have just said my friend. My friend wrote me today, and he had a question about, or not a question. My friend wrote me today, and we were talking about stuff on this similar topic.
But I still feel like that. Like I feel like
I
all
do
the
too.
30-somethings still don't give a shit.
Well,
It's all these 20s and teens,
Correct.
and then these 60-year-old hipsters that act like 50s and 60s. It's not in the 30s. I don't see it in our age group.
Well, I feel the same way. And when I told the story, I said that it was my friend reached out to me, and this is what we were talking about when I was talking to my wife. But then I, like, looking back, I was like, oh, shoot. And it was like a hesitation before I clicked on the message because I was like, man, I really like this individual. I hope he's not pissed because of something I posted. You know what I mean? Thinking to myself, like,
I don't think that. I don't care. If you're offended by what I posted, then get over it.
But the absolute funniest thing was what he had sent me was a video of a doctor talking about how shitty the vaccine was and him telling me about how he voted for Trump and a lot of people didn't like him for it. So I started laughing, thinking to myself, and I told him, I said, what they're going for is making you and I, who have no reason to hate each other, but what they're going for is making you and I hate each other so that we're divisive on anything.
Yes.
And
I'm not what happened is I feel like they got a spike, but they didn't get it in the voting demographic because 30-somethings, I don't think were part of that spike. I don't think we bought into it. I don't think the 40-year-olds bought into it. The 50-year-olds, because you got a lot of hippies in the 60s, late 50s, early 60s. And then above that, nobody bought into it. So I think when the COVID thing came along, they found a new way to get some division to where more age groups can fight over something. Because this is the first time where friends from my high school have been upset with me because of my view on COVID. Never about race, never about anything else. We've always gotten along just fine. But they found something that they could hit every age generation.
And it's vaccine.
I swear they push it.
And it's vaccine, not vaccine, right?
Yeah.
Now, here's my thing on the whole thing is, if now going through it and experiencing firsthand that age and health really does make a difference, I don't think I had it bad if you think about it. I don't think you had it bad. And let's be honest, like if we're going by just what they're telling us health concerns are, you're heavier than I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was like the first and primary, right? Isn't that like one of the first things that they say is that everybody who's got it bad is heavy? Like,
yeah. I mean, I think if I wouldn't have drank myself into oblivion the first night, I'd have probably got out of it in 6 days.
Yeah, you broke your immune system.
Yeah.
You know, your immune system. And that was me. Stupid me. I went and did an hour on the bike and got off of it. Like literally, I was fine when I got on the bike, even though I knew I had a little tickle in my throat. I got off the bike and I was sick. In 1 hour,
but I do
killed
have
myself.
friends that have never been divisive with me about anything that have said things to me now.
Well, and again, this is coming off of just hearing that a dear friend of ours lost their mother today because
I know
COVID.
a lot of people, and it's terrible. I've
terrible.
said if I was in my 60s, I would probably get it, but I'm a 30-something.
It's a different.
I'm gonna be fine,
right? And that's my point.
As I cough.
That's my point, though. Is vaccinating our youth and wanting to vaccinate, our 7 and 8 year old children.
First-hand experience, it doesn't do nothing.
I don't think our kids had zero reaction and they don't have underlying health concerns. So here's my question: is if the vaccine protects you, right? Because we've learned that they can still spread it. They can still carry it. They can still spread it. So I'm not worried about you giving my kid COVID. Otherwise, we would get vaccinated. So if you want to get vaccinated because you have a bad immune system, then do it. Whether or not my family and my kids are vaccinated has no impact on you now, right? If you can spread it, if you can get it and you can spread it, what's the difference if I'm vaccinated or not?
I think if you're truly, really worried about it, then take the precautions.
Do you get what I'm saying, though? Am I missing something on that?
No, I don't think you're missing anything. I think that the world has lost its mind on common sense. Yes, in any situation, some people that aren't supposed to die are going to die.
Oh, yeah. And it's unfortunate.
People die of all sorts of stuff.
I mean,
I know that the people that are big-time vaxxers don't want to hear that I say a lot of people die from flu too, but it's the truth. But the amount of people that die from flu, I'd like to see the numbers. The amount of people that die from flu that are under the age of 40, I guarantee are probably close to the same as the people that die from COVID under the age of 40.
Yeah, I would think. I mean, we'd have to obviously see numbers, and
I'd like to look at it, but I bet it's close.
And the problem is that over the last 2 years, they haven't even reported correctly, though. They've been reporting as both, and that's a bummer too. But you have to think about it. The same age group that should be worried about COVID is the same age group that should be worried about the flu, right? And what do they do if they're worried? They get vaccinated. Do they ever care whether or not you or I have the flu vaccine? No. If they were worried about it, they would get the vaccine. Did you see Tony's Would I Rather?
Yes, and I'm not going to say on the air, but we probably need to change subjects.
But Tony's is great.
Yes, so to change subjects, there it is.
Read it.
Why do I have you read that one?
It's on you. It's on your screen.
All right.
I got it. Would you rather have to consume all of your food and drink rectally, or your penis is now the organ you use to both smell and taste things? So you got to smell and taste with your wee-wee, or take all of your food rectally. I think I'd be shoving hot dogs up my ass.
That is such an awful one.
It's terrible.
I don't want to do either of those.
Well, you think if everybody had to take their food up their poop chute?
Well, it would be a South Park episode.
I think if you had to take food up your poop chute, then food would just be like pill form.
You don't remember that South Park part?
I really don't.
Where Cartman stuck the whole turkey up his butthole?
I feel like I do,
and then
but I
they
don't.
Poop out their mouth, but they could lose weight because it didn't keep the calories.
No, that's ridiculous.
You got to watch that one.
That is funny. Absolutely ridiculous. Oh, I think Tony said we missed it. Not everyone, just you.
So like
you're
so like we're at what we're sitting here drinking. We're like, here.
You took option 2, and I took
like this.
You took option 2, and I took option 1. I would be shoving my freaking steak up my ass, and you'd be smelling it with your dick.
God. That's disgusting.
We'd be the terrible people to go out to eat with. It's awful.
God, I do have to say that the COVID definitely has just wrecked me as far as I cough all the time.
I don't know about you though,
I've
but
had a headache every day.
the last 2 days I've been coughing up shit.
I haven't coughed up anything. It's the dry cough.
Oh, last 2 days I've
And,
been hacking it up.
I've had a headache it's not on me, but yeah, here every
Yeah, it's the worst.
single day.
I had one today.
And it's
I just feel dry. I feel like I'm not consuming enough water.
I thought that might be a thing because you know how little water I drink when
Yep.
I'm healthy. And I drank a ton of water when I had COVID. Like I'm talking more water than I'm drinking my whole life. Probably, honest to God, 2 gallons a day.
That's a
Because
lot
I
of
felt
water.
like I could never get enough. And when you lost your taste, like Gatorade didn't taste like anything, so I would just drink water.
Yep, all I drank was water.
And I feel like my body got used to being hydrated, and now it's like I have a dehydration headache, like when you drink too much whiskey and you get that headache.
Yep.
But it's like all the time. It doesn't matter what I'm doing.
That's what it feels like to me. This morning I thought to myself, did I drink too much last night? And I realized I didn't even drink last night.
And I'm not lying. Look at this. I got Excedrin right here.
Yep.
Took it right before the show.
You got to be careful though, because what is it? You can take too much Excedrin, and you were saying something about you and your dad, right? You could take too much, that stops working.
Yeah. I took a Max Salt the other day and it didn't break this headache.
Really?
That's prescription. Yeah.
And that's a big boy pill, isn't it?
Yeah. It did nothing. So I looked it up though. Some people said that it lasts for 5 or 6 months after COVID. Yay! Now he pooped.
All right. So the headache lasts 5 or 6 months afterward.
They said it could.
I just want to know when my organs are going to stop feeling swollen.
I never had that. That's probably just because you're fatter than you've ever been.
I feel puffy. Like every day, I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack.
That's because you got fat.
My left arm goes numb every single day, and I get chest pains. And I just pray, and I try to breathe through it, and I try to just make sure that I'm not, dead when the kids wake up.
And how much did you eat today?
Today was not bad. I spent it. I woke up, and the first thing I did was I got some shit done around the house, and then I put an hour in on the bike. I burnt like almost 800 calories.
What'd you eat yesterday?
Half a pizza from Mellow Mushroom
and wings and a breakfast sandwich from Wendy's
and a breakfast sandwich. That was a cheat day though, because I didn't eat like that all week.
So we're bad for each other.
But today, no. So then afterwards, I had an avocado. Literally, I had like an avocado, some string cheese, some fruit. And then we went to this baby shower, and baby shower I had some pulled pork, one like a little pulled pork slider, and then the rest was just pulled pork dry.
You can't leave a slider alone.
Can't. Something about small sandwiches.
So that's not even a joke. Frank, every time we go somewhere, if they have sliders, he's in. Doesn't matter. And see, Frank, just to let you know, he has to order a full meal and then get a slider. The slider can't be the meal. The slider has to be the appetizer.
So what if the slider's not good?
Yeah, then you got a whole nother meal.
See, what I do is I'm testing places to find out if they have quick grab food. So if you have a good slider, so now I know I can pull into any Arby's around the world and get a buffalo chicken slider. I know it's good. I don't need the whole meal. I just know the buffalo chicken slider is good. But if it's the first time, I'm going to try a full meal and the slider.
KFC has good sliders. They're called like snackers or something.
Snack.
Something like that.
Yeah, snackers or snack attacks. Zaxby's has them too, right? Zack attacks.
Yeah, Zack Snacks.
Zack Snacks, something like that. They're fucking delicious, but all it is a chicken tender on a
Me, you, and Thomas ordered
football roll.
$100. There was like $90 of Zaxby's.
Yep.
And we ate every bit of it.
Every last bit of it. So that's a problem too, is I grew up poor. So I grew up poor is I don't like to waste food. So if there's food left,
I don't think it has anything to do with growing up poor, because
nope.
I do it too.
No, I do not leave food behind.
I think it was the ones that the parents always go, eat your food, clear that plate. Didn't matter what was on it.
Yeah.
Because Morgan was never forced to ever clear her plate, and like she didn't have to eat stuff she didn't like. Look who's skinny.
That's true.
Yeah,
it really makes shit. The camera's on me all the time. Yeah, that's true.
Just move your mouth and I'll talk. Hi, my name is Frank.
I did it wrong.
Hi, my name is Frank. I really, really, really want some ice cream right now.
Mm-hmm.
But if I ate it,
I shit myself.
I would poop.
I shit myself. It's ridiculous, man. It really is, dude. I wish that is one thing I mean, there's probably a certain amount of money that I would take over being able to not shit myself, but not shitting myself after I have dairy is so high on that list.
And it's weird because I have nothing like that.
I love ice cream.
So I'm pretty sure we ate at rotted hamburgers last night. I mean, tonight.
Oh, yeah? Where?
Well, we're going to find out in about an hour.
When you just had to poo-poo everywhere?
No, if you ever eat bad meat, anything, food poisoning typically shows up in 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
So we're at hour 5. But,
well, if your wife is shitting herself, because your stomach's a lot stronger than hers.
She's not. But so we can't totally smell yet. Like, it's hard to explain. You can smell, but not totally.
Yeah, it's really weird.
I ate the first burger, and these burgers were frozen. So, like, if they had a problem, it came like...
Were they from the store that I love to go to?
No. They were from Winn-Dixie.
Probably rotted meat.
I mean, it was fresh meat that we bought for a party that not as many people ate as much as we want, thought, but they were in the fridge. And then after the party was over, like, it got bought that day. It got put in the freezer that day. And I took them out today, and I thawed them out for dinner tonight. And so I ate the first one. It was fine. Didn't think anything of it. And then I ate the second one, and I'm like, this one tastes a little weird. I can't figure out if it's the mayonnaise or the ketchup that's on it, or if it's the burger or the cheese or whatever. And I'm trying to smell it, and I can't smell it. And I'm like, Morgan, smell it. But now Landon's been listening, right?
Right. So now he's freaked out.
Yeah. And I'm like, Landon, you can smell because he hasn't had COVID. And I'm like, smell that and see if it smells weird. Well, of course he's going to say it smells weird.
Of course.
Yeah. So now we're on a countdown to see who poops the bed. But I bet they're fine. All this to say that when we get off this show, I'm going home. If it's 12 o'clock, I'm eating the rest of that burger.
You got to do what you got to do. It's getting close. But I just realized, too, that I like Elijah Craig way better than Larceny.
What am I drinking?
Larceny? I just poured us Larceny. But before then, you had Knob Creek.
That's just a bad bottle of Larceny.
And that's a normal one.
That one tastes earthy.
Yeah, it's not my barrel pick.
Really?
I promise.
I feel like mine doesn't taste like that.
And to me, ever since I had COVID, I don't like Larceny anymore, and I used to love it. I even gave a few bottles as gifts earlier. And it's it makes me feel bad because I wouldn't have given it as a gift if I thought it tastes terrible now.
I went over to a friend's house because he's going to be moving, and I had Eagle Rare with me just to get rid of it. It's so bad.
It is delicious.
So bad.
It's ridiculous. But I can tell you that a lot of the stuff that I used to think tastes like sour sacks now taste good. So there's bottles behind me that I actually enjoy again, which is weird. And then there's the fact that tomato sauce tastes terrible to me.
To an Italian.
Tomato sauce tastes sour to me. It's a god awful way to live. It sucks.
Pizza tastes good though.
No, it tastes sour. The sauce, red sauce, tastes sour.
That's probably why you like the jalapeno pizza better.
Tasted way better.
White sauce.
Tasted way better.
That's weird.
Yep.
I have none of that. I'm not like that.
No, the tomato sauce has been tasting sour to me. Ketchup tastes a little bit weird.
All right. Well,
I can't figure out.
We actually did an hour. I think we should actually finish on that hour.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think we had anything else, right?
I did. Your topic of what shows did you watch pre-Netflix?
Oh, that is a good one though.
Yeah.
All right, so you can do it because you remember better.
Mine was Lost. I remember. So when Lost came out, I was so poor that I used to get onto my laptop and I would go to those bootleg sites back then that had like a million different ads that would pop up and watch every single episode of Lost. And that's how I watched it because I could not afford to go to Blockbuster and rent, the DVD of Lost.
Yeah.
And Blockbuster was around back then. And then the other one was the right behind that. Remember, Heroes came out right behind
Heroes.
Yeah. And Heroes I watched.
Heroes.
And then there was one about like an airplane or something that came out right after Heroes because Heroes got canceled. And then I don't know what it was called. I can't remember, but that was another one.
Oh, I know. The 4400?
Peaky Blinders.
No,
was another, not Peaky Blinders. What was the one that was like Peaky Blinders that was on HBO?
I know.
Boardwalk Empire.
That was a good show.
One.
So are you talking about the show where something happens when they were all on the airplanes at the same time,
Yeah.
right?
And I don't remember what it was
The
called.
4400.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's what it was.
I remember
it was
getting
one
into that.
season.
That one I watched. Yeah, they pulled it.
Yeah, it was good.
But that one I watched. But okay, so if you could rewind a little bit, my family was into 24. That was probably like my college years, maybe. Family was into 24. Before then, in high school, one of the things I used to always watch was late night. So like late night, there's a couple of things I put on Comedy Central, and you'd always catch like the 30-minute specials that they did, like some of the older ones. But then at certain time, Martin would come on. I used to always love watching Martin. I don't know why.
I liked Martin.
Martin Lawrence is good, man.
Yeah.
He cracked me up. Martin was good. So I used to always watch that. And then, like I said, so it was that. My family watched 24. I missed.
How did all that happen in 24 hours?
No fucking clue. But I missed the Lost craze. I ended up watching Lost on Netflix after the fact.
I've watched it twice.
It's good.
Yeah, so I watched it in real time when it was out. And then Morgan's like, what's your favorite show of all time? I'm like, it's Lost.
Yeah, Lost was good.
It got a little long in the countdown years.
Yep.
And then the ending was weird.
Yep.
Wasn't as bad as the Sopranos ending.
Yeah, that was disappointing.
So for the longest time, because I watched that one in real time too, forgot about that one. For the longest time, I thought that, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the goddamn Sopranos, it was only 20 years ago now. But remember, he's sitting at the table and he looks up after, basically his enemy, the black gang walked in, remember? Because they were like fighting with them for whatever reason. And they walk in and they'd been in there for a little while. And he looks up and goes like that. And then it goes black. For whatever reason, for the longest time, I thought there was a gunshot.
Really?
Yeah, there's not. I watched it last night because I was talking to Jessica and she's like, no, there was no gunshot. And she's like super big into those type shows like Mafia. I'm like, there was a gunshot. I'm like, that was him dying. That's why it went black.
Yeah.
No gunshot.
No gunshot. Now there's the movie coming out. Are you going to watch the movie?
I didn't know about that.
Yeah, they're filming a Sopranos movie right now. Joey Diaz is in it.
Really?
Joey Coco Diaz. He cracks me up.
What's his name? The guitar player in it? That's Huey Lewis as a guitar player, right?
I think so. I forget who's in that movie. There's some good people supposed to be in the movie, and I'm interested. I'll see it. Only because the ending left me wanting more.
My question is due to woke culture, is Gay Tony going to be in it?
I don't know. I
remember they called him Gay Tony.
Yeah. I don't know what time period this is. I think it's like pre.
Really?
I think it's like young Tony Soprano. I think it is young Tony Soprano, and I think his son is playing him.
Really?
Yeah, which I think is cool. But
did you ever see the movie that came out right after Sopranos ended that had him in it, and he was a detective, but he was gay?
Yeah.
It was such a weird role because you just came off the heels of Sopranos, and he's the toughest person in the world,
and now he's a gay detective.
He's a gay detective.
Yeah, it threw me off. It really did.
Crazy. Wasn't that Sandra Bullock and him? It was somebody else big.
It was a big.
And they're driving around in a Volkswagen Bug. I remember.
Yeah, I don't remember what the girl was, but she was a big name. But it's just funny though. Like he really typecast himself after The Sopranos. You can't do anything else after you're Tony Soprano.
No, it obviously didn't.
All right.
It didn't happen.
Well, here's a good way to go out, though, is we should answer Tony's question, and we'll just end on the answer of
Tony's
that
question is literally reality.
What
I
is
read
it?
that. I was going to say something.
Is it too big?
It'll show. Said, you start off your ideal body weight, but if you ever gain weight, you can never lose it. Or you can always stay in peak physical condition no matter what you eat, but you have to be a true liberal every way for the rest of your life. First off, literally he's described my life because I obviously did start out in peak physical condition and stayed in that until I went off to college, and now I've become fatter and fatter and fatter. So my choice is one, because nothing would have changed.
So I think what he's saying is you get a restart right now. So if you got to restart right now, I think
I get to go to physical peak right now.
Right now,
I'm in.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the worst I'm going to get is what I am now.
Yeah, so I would do that. I would go physical peak right now, knowing it's going to last for about 5 years.
Bullshit, Frank. We go on one trip, you gain 7 pounds.
No. If I can start off at my top physical peak right now, I'd be stoked. I'd be
and
stoked.
not hurt.
I'd be like 185, lean, not hurt.
Frank, we'd be so stupid that we'd wake up and be like, oh, we're skinny and built and blah, blah, blah. And then we'd be like, this is a great opportunity to drink ourselves.
No, I'd keep
retarded.
running. I'd keep running like Forrest Gump as far as possible.
Does this require exercise or can you just
No, it's up to
basic
you.
diet?
It's up to you. But you get a start over right now.
Well, I already told you I'm fine with it because what's the worst that's going to happen?
I
I'm
get a
just sitting
start over.
how I am right
That's
now.
true. I get a start over right now. Although I'd love to see myself look like a god and never change. Yeah, fuck it. Give me the baby blood. Make me a freaking Democrat.
And on
Let's do this.
You boys and gals have a good night.